I've taken on a second plot as a co-worker, which basically means I share in the costs and the work and the hop harvest, obviously, because this plot is too much for the current tenants, so they want somebody to help out. So let's have a look. Outside, it's got a nice big greenhouse. It's corrugated plastic on this side and normal grass on the other side. Outside there is a lot of brambles, but I'm an old hand and dealing with brambles. It's a nice shed, and I don't know what this tree is. It's got brambles and all sorts all over it, and it's handy because there's the greenhouse and just across is the water tap, so it's handy. And normally people don't drive down here because it's a dead end, and this is the end of the lane basically. There's only 3 more plots below this one, so there's no traffic whizzing up and down here, so I can connect the water down there and across into the greenhouse. So let's go and have a look at the plot. Obviously privet hedges on this side, and whatever this is on this side, I'll figure it out later. The gate could do with a bit of TLC. The post is there, so we'll see if we can get it sorted. Stuff accumulates, so there's quite a bit there. There's a little lean-to here, which is full of bits of wood and stuff, and lots of pots. But one of my jobs is to clear this lot out. As you walk in, there is this hazel tree and a big fern. Could move those water barrels, but that's a later job. This hazel tree, unfortunately, the squirrels apparently get the hazel, so nobody's ever actually managed to eat any hazels off this, because the squirrels always get there first. And it's fair size. It's going to be a bit difficult netting it just for a handful of nuts. This big fern has got to go as well. Let's have a look inside the shed and the greenhouse first. So that's this lean-to. That's what's in a lean-to. A lot of timber and various bits of stuff that people accumulate over the years. But that's not mine, so I'm not touching that. Right, the inside of the shed, you know, there's a little bit of work that needs doing to the shed, but it's not too bad. And it's clear on one side, so it's quite light and airy. So it'll make a nice potting shed. There's stuff here, so there's the shelves there. Could be used as a potting bench there, and all sorts here, but sort that out. Some tools and stuff. That's Tim stuff, so I'm not messing with that. The greenhouse could do with a bit of a tidy, and we'll sort that out. But it's quite a nice greenhouse, and when I saw it last year, they had a load of tomatoes growing here, and so it's a good 3 and a bit, maybe even 4 meters, yeah, possibly 4 meters long. So it's a fair sized greenhouse, but I can clear this lot out and start putting the greenhouse to use. But yeah, I've got to see what I can do, what can be sort of put aside, what can be thrown away, because obviously it's not like taking over a plot and then everything's yours. This stuff isn't mine. You know, when you take a plot on, anything that's on there effectively becomes yours, but because I'm only a co-worker, technically it isn't mine. So I've got a good water catchment here, so it catches the water off the roof, and you can see it. Dripping in. So this goes across into this. And it's quite a good one, because it's they just used an old bleach bottle or something to funnel that into a pipe, and that goes in to this one, and this one, it's actually frozen over this morning, but there's a connection that goes round behind that one, goes into this one. So I've got 2 water barrels here that will fill up from rainwater off the shed, and this is the other side of the greenhouse, and it's all glass, and that also has a guttering, but it's broken, so it needs fixing. But once that's done, certainly I'll have enough water collection capability. Right, the front, well, that bit is obviously needs sorting out. That tub has got some nice parsley in it, a big massive bed of strawberries on this side, so that's the first bed. This bed obviously needs work, and this parsley, I've been told, is quite a nice parsley. This was a cold frame, but it's seen better days, so it looks like it's rotten. I don't know. I'll deal with that. And that glass could be used to either repair it, or if the cold frame is no good, I might just use it as take it out and use it as a bed. Another bed of strawberries on this side. Don't think there's much in this. You can see a couple of onions in the shade, but nothing much else apart from weeds. So this bed can be dealt with, and I'll go along that edge later. Well, let's have a look at the beds. Let's give you an overview of the plot. So we've got beds there, and then halfway up there is a bean trellis, and we've got more beds on this side, cold frame, and along that hedge there is a lot of compost. They've used it as compost bins, so I'll show you that later. So we've seen these beds, and then there's another empty bed here. I don't think there's much in it, because they have been downsizing over the years, and same on this side. It's been fallow and it's just sort of been left to go. But there are 2 rhubarb plants there, if I can get in. There's a rhubarb plant there, and there's a rhubarb plant there, and then the rest of this bed is pretty much fallow, so I'm not going to do much with that. I don't think there's anything along this edge, so I'll probably come along and cut the hedge, trim it, and maybe put something along here. So that's this side. Another bath. This bed again has been left fallow for quite a while, because it's been cultivated for a number of years. It should be good soil, and it looks weedy, but it won't take long to sort it. A few tubs and containers. Right, we've got this bean scaffolding trellis that goes more or less across the whole plot. Well, I don't need this much beans, so I may take down part of it. Yeah, it just needs a good digging over. But because I've taken it on this time of year, it's beginning of March, really I haven't got a chance to manure it and leave it over winter. So I'll have to sort this bed out somehow and just use some chicken manure pellets or something and some bloodfish and bone, and then put the beans in, and next year I can start manuring it. Above that bean trellis is another bed. Now there's a nice apple tree here. Been told that these are quite nice sweet apples, and we're not touching that. Above the bean trellis there is another bed which I forgot to record. It's got some fruit bushes, raspberries, gooseberries and some currant bushes, but I don't know which currants they are until they fruit in the summer. There's also a couple of baths which have got weeds in, and just behind the apple tree you can see a nice rhubarb plant. So 1st of March, it's must be an early variety. I'll have to find out what varieties these are. And that looks like a gooseberry over there. Again, yeah, it needs a bit of work. There's a sort of Aladdin's cave of bits of wood and timber and pipes and canes and all sorts here, but that's not my problem for the moment. I'm not going to deal with that. Back here, oh, there's this bed that has been a brassica bed, and that is obviously coming to the end, so that will be sorted. It's a bit dangerous because there's brambles and things, and along that hedge there's another bed that's actually carpeted, and it's all bricks, so something has been built there, and I'll find out what it is, and we might be able to do something there. And at the back again, another bath and what looks like another cold frame. If we get close without tripping over, there is another structure here, so that might have been another cold frame, but I'll have to see what state that's in. That hedge needs a trim. And then back there there's a lot of duckweed and algae in these water tanks. Something has been here. Back there there's a lot of broken glass and old window panes, so next skip day I'm going to get rid of those. More rainwater collection. So on this side, on the right hand edge, so that's the south. South is that way, and there's the sun, without blinding you. So we've got this thing at the top, which I'll deal with it whenever. To the south, obviously there's a rhubarb plant, and this, it's a gooseberry. So, and they've got some, I think it might be a blackberry or something along this. I think that's shared with the neighbours, so I'll see what's there. So that goes down all the way down there. There's the tree again, and if we go down without just to see what I'm filming, and I have to look down because there's all sorts down here, lots of brambles that could trip me up. So another bin, and this south side, about 10 meters, that's being used as a compost bin. So I'm going to repair that, because obviously it's falling apart. But I don't know whether to repair it or put the compost bins at the back and use this area for growing. So all of this is used as a compost bin. But yeah, it's falling apart. It just needs either repairing or taking out. and the compost at this end has obviously got weeds growing in it. That bit at the other end is better because it's got leaves and stuff on top, but this is not the best compost, but it'll do. And then come down, it's a bit of a few bits and pieces I need to sort out, and there is a gap in the fence that connects my plot to the neighbours, so obviously the previous tenants have been coming and going and been on good terms with their neighbours, so it's actually open so they can look after each other's plots. And then we're back to the greenhouse. It is a nice plot. It actually looks like a lot of work, but considering my first plot, what that was like, and I've had to tackle that on my own, and this, because it's been cultivated, yes, it needs a bit of weeding, but I'm not having to dig out masses of bramble roots and things and hawthorn trees and things. And there's no rush on this one. I've got time because I've got my main plot that I'm going to be growing stuff on, and this has got some established fruit on it. So I've got the strawberry beds, I've got things like the parsley, those fruit bushes, the apple tree, rhubarb, so there's a fair bit here, and then I can just get on with a few beds and we can go from there. In the next video I'll explain why I've got a second allotment, so goodbye for now and come back soon.